Let's just make sure you can see me. I hope you can. Let me know that you can see me clearly, you can hear me clearly. I haven't got the other microphone on today, so I need your reassurance. So just let me know if you are here in today's live. So BlaXit family, BlaXit family, BlaXit family. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our Sunday live, our live broadcast here on BlaXit. BlaXit is the channel, thank you very much, dedicated to your relocation, repatriation back to your nation, also your mind emancipation. So BlaXit is all about your exit from the West back to the best. And I'm Nyancho Kajabi, I'm Juliet, I am your host for today's live. I'm also the CEO and founder of BlaXit. This is the original BlaXit. You see the TM and registered trademark beside it is because it is BlaXit. It's just BlaXit. There are a lot of decoys. There are a lot of copies. And there are a lot of wannabes. But this is the original BlaXit. And the original channel, well, this channel actually, was first created in April 25th, 2011. And I'm Nyancho Kajabi, aka Juliet, and I'm also very much a self-appointed stateswoman for the diaspora. And I am calling for all African descendants to have African citizenship across the whole of the African continent, because our ancestors were taken by force and not by choice, without passports or any immigration processes. And so, yes, I will still be calling for that under, my very own flagship. And so I am a dedicated Garveyite, very much dedicated to the principles of Marcus Garvey. And greetings to Dr. Julius Garvey, his son, who has been very supportive. Now, if you're new to BlaXit, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please engage in the chat. I will read your comments. Hello, Maureen, Ed. Good morning, my sister, all the way from sunny Southern California. And tell me, is it raining? Because it never rains in Southern California. Okay, so there's a song for you, Maureen. And also to, I think that's Lenroy Brooks. I love you. I love you too. Here, I sent you a kiss. Thank you so much for your love. We need more love in our community. And I'm glad that you said that, Lenroy, because it reminds me just to do a little bit of housekeeping on the channel. BlaXit is dedicated to our self-love, okay? To our self-improvement. We don't engage in negativity and, self-denigration and negative talk and bringing each other down on this channel. This is not what we are about. We are about upliftment. We are about enablement. And we are about, ensuring the unity of Africa and of Africans globally. Ensuring that, we are a Black global community, seeing ourselves as Africans. And for those of us that cannot return to the continent, those of us that aren't able are still Africans regardless of where they are. So this is what we are dedicated to, is for Africa to come from under the grip of colonization, and for us to become self-determined and to become the leaders, to become the controllers, and to become the owners of our Africanness and of our African nations, and of course for unity. So thank you so much. I will go back. Chat service, thanks for your reply. Please end this live immediately and add an apology post to the community page. What for? What's wrong with YouTube? I don't understand. So it looks as though I'm going to have to end this live. I'll post an apology for what I don't know. This is dedicated to your repatriation, relocation, back to your nation. Failure to take action result in a channel strike. This is YouTube chat service. So I say sorry for what I'm not sure about. Yeah. Being a dedicated Garveyite, I do apologize if I have offended anybody. That was not the intention. So I don't understand this. Strike for what? YouTube chat service. Is this some kind of hoax? Hang on, let's have a look. Right, I'm going to come back on, okay? I'm going to end this and then I'm going to come back on. I'm just going to quickly check my email to see if this is some kind of a hoax. The reason why I say that is because it has happened before, where there has been a hoax, okay? If you cannot type one, Kath, please. I did. Okay, and add an apology to the community page. It's a troll. It's Cap. Okay, so do me a favor. These people that are doing this Cap, as my son said. So we have a moderator on this channel. We're dedicated to your relocation, repatriation. It's obviously someone trying to. Well, thanks for the prank. Yeah, we appreciate that, but we're still going to continue with our channel. But you know, like I said, the more we returning from the west, let's just stay with the best. Yeah, and that's Africa. This is one of the things that comes with the west, which is, you know, ultimately too much control and too much interference in, you know, positive things when we're trying to uplift humanity. We are trying to uplift humanity, you know, and that is what we're about. So let's just continue, and wherever it is, it can continue. Please do me a favor. I'm a troll. Okay, I'm a troll. You're very funny. Ha 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 ha. Right, let me continue with the program. I'm saying that there was a lot of things that I wanted to talk about today, and I wanted to continue our progress that we were making about Maat. And if you haven't been watching for the last, if you weren't watching for the last few sessions, then you might have missed that. So just on a recap, we were talking about how the world is getting out of control, and how we're running off of kilter, and how, you know, wrong seems to be right and right seems to be wrong. We're kind of running in reverse. And I was saying that us as a community, us as a people, we need to get back on track, and we need to go all the way back to those principles of Maat, okay? Which is very, very important, yeah? And I'm just saying that I think it's really important that we do get back, because there's too much killing, okay? Too much killing, too much death, too many bad things are happening in our world. And the only way to improve it is for us, right, to make steps to improve things within our own community. And we can take those steps by going back to those ancient principles. These are principles before any organized religions. This is before, you know, the common era. This is before the era of Christianity or any other organized religion. And these were, you know, universal principles which were, you know, created by African deities, African goddesses. And this African goddess is the goddess of Maat. And I have actually, you know, seen evidence of her as a deity when I went back to Kush, or what you might modernly call Egypt. And she left us with some guiding principles, okay? And we went through like 7 of the principles on one show, and then we went through some of the guidelines, the laws, the 42 laws that she left. And those 42 laws that she left I kind of went through the modern day versions of them with you, okay? And I think that's really important that we kind of talk about them just briefly, just to recap, okay? So we remember what they were, because these principles are important to us, because we're losing track. There's a lot of stuff that's going on, and we're losing track of who we are, yeah, and who we are in as human beings, because we cannot carry on like people that are evil. We have to do things in our righteous way, and especially towards each other, okay? So right, the 7 key principles. The first one was the truth, dijed, okay? And that was the principles that emphasizes about honesty, integrity, alignment with reality, yeah, reality. Because some of us have lost touch with reality, unfortunately, okay? And it's also about individuals, valuing and recognizing the difference between truth and falsehood, and also acting in accordance with what is real and what is beneficial for us. Secondly, we talked about balance, which is Wabet, right? Wabet is Maat. It represents the equilibrium in the universe. Yeah, it represents that also within society. It also signifies the need to maintain harmony between opposing forces, and also to avoid extremes. Okay, that is really important, especially with what is happening here on the continent, in other parts of the world. Okay, order, a pep, yeah, which is order versus chaos, and we need order. Order is so important to our existence, because I feel like we're getting out of order, and we're being guided out of order, right? And we're being influenced out of order, okay? And this principle refers to the established cosmic societal order, which is divinely ordained, and it emphasizes the importance of adhering to established rules and structures. Yeah, are we living in order or chaos? Yeah, or are we out of order? Order wants to, present the world with their new world order. Well, we need our own Maat order. Okay, we need our own Maat order, not their world order. Okay, not their new restructure. Okay, not their new reset. We need our own reset. Yeah, we need to preserve what is in this world, which is good and natural. Yeah, some groups are against what is good and natural. We need to seek to preserve that. They seek to destroy the world, the very earth and its very people. Okay, and we need to preserve that. Whether they want to use vaxes and stuff like this, we need to look at what we're doing. Okay, they created their own laws. Remember that at one time slavery was legal. Okay, so we need to make sure we start living by our own laws. Okay, because like I said before, it was only in 1956 that the United Nations outlawed slavery globally. Okay, so let's not forget. Okay, 4 is harmony, heka. Yeah, harmony. Maat promotes peaceful coexistence and cooperation among individuals, community, and the environment. It encourages respectful relationships and avoidance of conflict. That is so important, that we've got to remember that, okay? Especially in a world that is actively promoting conflict and promoting disharmony, okay? Law, second, yeah? This aspect of Maat encompasses the legal and ethical codes that govern African society. It highlights the importance of justice and fairness and in all interactions, okay? In all of our interactions, yeah? Slavery was legal, but was it ethical? You understand? So I'm going next to number 6, which is morality, ma'a. Yeah, that's without the T. It's ma'a without the T, okay? Ma'a embodies a strong, or morality, right? Embodies a strong knowledge of ethical conduct, right conduct, okay? And moral responsibility. Encourages individuals to act with virtue and integrity in their daily lives. Yeah, virtue, was represented by the feather that she had, that she wore. You understand? Virtue meaning justice and fairness. Okay, harmony in personal and social relationships, reciprocity, we don't reciprocate enough. Do you reciprocate? Do you give as well as take, or do you just look to take? Do you act with propriety? Are you acting properly? Are you acting with kindness? Are you acting with honesty? Are you acting with respect for others' property, peace and peacefulness and gratitude? Yeah. So that those are the things that we kind of talked about. And then last, of course, was justice, which is NEB. And we talked about the principle which emphasizes about fair and equitable treatment of all individuals under the law. Yeah, that's all of us being treated equally. And of course, you wouldn't leave Black Lives Matter. You wouldn't need, the Race Relations Act. You wouldn't need all of these legislations. You wouldn't need the UN, the UN law, sorry, reading your comments, unless, we have this and we don't have equitable treatment. Yeah. As Africans globally, as Black people globally, we do not have equitable treatment. And so NEB is very important that we have justice, and part of justice is reparatory justice, which is also reparations, and we do not have reparations. How comes we're one of the few groups of people, race of people on this earth that has gone through so much but not received justice? And so it is the foundation, law is the foundation for a harmonious and stable society, yeah? And it's not just an abstract concept, okay? It was actively practiced and upheld, okay? Not just by individuals, but also by rulers, also by the gods and goddesses, okay? And it was seen as the force that maintained the order and harmony, ensuring the well-being of both the divine and human realms, okay? So I've just said that. So now, last week I went through the 42 laws, and I did the modern ones, okay? But I didn't do the older ones, okay? And so I'm going to touch on those. But before I do that, I wanted to say something. I watched a film, I like to watch these films. I watched a film called Karen, which I actually posted. I hope you had a chance to see it. Conte, okay, let me say hello. It's me, Dasha. Hi, Dasha, how are you? Conte, Fanding, how are you? Isis Islas, how are you? Roberto Rivalo, how are you? Let's have a look. Can you get rid of this person, please, Kath? Block them. The person doing the thing. Okay. The troll person. Okay, thank you. Okay, so if I just missed you, I just want to quickly say hello. Hi Dee, how is it? Yeah, everything in Gambia is wonderful. Thanks for asking. Hi Nahome, how are you? Nice to meet you, Lenroy. I think I mentioned you before. So hi, I think I'm up to date now with everybody. Darbo Jula. Oh, Darbo. Would you mind giving me a call if it's the Darbo jeweler that I deal with? Darbo, would you mind giving me a call, please? Okay. So, listen, I just want to say something. A very special happy birthday to my mum. So happy birthday, Mum. Okay, so special birthday greetings to you. Happy birthday. And if you are having a birthday this month, do put it in the comments. Let me say a special happy birthday to you also. And for anybody who's lost somebody and it is the anniversary of the loss, this is also the my grandma passed as well on the 5th of September. So this is also for me, not this year, okay, previously. So I always give remembrance to her on the 5th of September, and happy birthday to my mum. So hola a partir de Angola, welcome from Angola. Curtis Rose, you reverse my age, my lady. Okay, thank you so much. Maureen Ed said happy birthday, mum. Thank you so much for saying happy birthday to my mum. So I was really affected by this film called Karen. If you've not seen it, I did post it on the community page. So please do go onto the community page and watch this film. And I was deeply affected by this film. And I actually wrote something, okay? The film was called Karen. Spoiler alert. I'm going to tell you about the film. So it was a couple that decided to move into a so-called white neighborhood in America. And it was a husband and wife, you know, young couple, and her name was Imani, yeah, and his name I can't remember, but they seemed to be a very conscious couple, you know, lovely couple. But they moved into the neighborhood, and I knew, like, straight away, like, as soon as this neighbor came out, there was going to be trouble. You understand me? So the neighbors, like, packing their children in, and the neighbor comes out. Did you see it? Okay. Oh, Lamin, Bijame, how are you? Good afternoon from Italy. Yeah. Ciao, ciao. How are you? So, and Nangadef to everybody who's listening in Gambia as well. Yeah. How are you? Yeah. And so, Abinyadi as well. Anyway, so I knew there was going to be trouble in this film. So I'm just breaking this down. I will go into the later principles of my heart, but I want to touch on this, and I also want to say hello to Sonia as well. And Sonia, I will try to do my best to also do a recap about land purchases. As everybody knows, we have got our Serenity Estate in Kartong. Please do not miss out on your plots, okay? There aren't many left, so please, and the prices are very reasonable, so please, we do have beautiful land in Kartong, which I did post a program on our community page as promised, so please do go for it. Don't miss your opportunity to leave, okay? I think it's very important that you give yourself choice. Okay, and so if you want to, Cafe, please, my mod, put the contact details for us in the chat, please. So you can take down our details from the chat as well. So anyway, so this couple now, they move into this area, and this woman called Karen, she comes. And I'm screaming because, like me, I'm not very forthcoming with information to people that I'm not comfortable with. I don't feel comfortable with. And so she comes and she starts asking all of these questions. Yeah. Now I'm already feeling uncomfortable. I'm just watching a film, you know, so you can already see the direction that this is going in. Okay. So she starts asking them questions. Oh, so, you know, where you from, and all the, you know, the usual types, you know, Karen-esque questions, you know, and her name is actually Karen, and, you know, she's trying to introduce herself. So she puts up CCTV, you know, cameras pointing at their house. Listen, it's just diabolical, right? Anyway, as she's talking to this woman, I want to share something with you, okay? Is that sometimes I think we've been programmed, okay? Programmed to respond, okay? We've been programmed to respond to Karens, okay? Or Johns, or whatever you want to call them, when, you know, they ask us questions as though they are in a position to ask you, okay? You don't have to respond. You just don't. You know, and I'm saying, why are you talking to her? Why are you even responding? Yes, there's, you know, you can be polite, okay? But you can say, I'm not comfortable with your questions, so therefore I'm not going to be answering them. You can feel empowered to do that, okay? So I had that in London when I moved there, and they were very angry, and I didn't share my personal details with them. Well done, Cara. That's Cara Lumsden, yeah? And the number is on WhatsApp. Yes, it is. +220 240 5273. And remember, I all invite you all to send me any questions via WhatsApp before I go live as well on Sundays. So Lamin JP Jammer, I want to say that. So don't feel as though you have to answer these people's questions. They are not the God of you. They're not the owners of you. You know, that is the one thing that impacted me. And then the husband's in the car. Let's say it's the husband sitting there and he's doing something that he shouldn't be doing in the car, okay? And then she comes over and she starts, and he winds down his window because she knocks on it. Why are you winding down the window? She's not police. You know, I know, like, I'm probably going on about it, but the reason why is maybe this will stop us from feeling disempowered. Yeah, we have to feel empowered. We have to feel enabled. We have to feel strong in our mind. You are an African. You are a black person. You are divine. Feel that divinity. You come from a divine source. So feel that divinity. Feel empowered. You don't have to answer them to nothing, nothing, nothing. Feel empowered. I remember when I was approached myself even. I think it was at the at the Monkey Park, by someone who watched BlaXit, who was of European descent. And the person said, I know you don't like people like me watching your channel. And I said, I put it out there for anyone to watch on my channel, but the information is for my nation, because I want them to understand the importance of knowing that someone loves you and someone cares for you and someone wants what's best for you. And so that's who I'm appealing to. Okay? So she went on to go on to ask me questions. I said, I'm not comfortable with going through any questions by you. I am not even comfortable speaking with you at this point. So, I'm going to take my leave. Thank you. How dare you try to interrogate me? Who do you think you are? I don't own YouTube. Anybody can watch this channel. Anybody can watch this channel. At the end of the day, I am aiming my content at healing my people. So that was a takeaway that I took from that film. And I wanted to say it because, before I got into the principles of Maat, is because I just feel like we've been weakened to being suppressed, to being passive. There is nothing wrong with measured aggression. Okay? There is nothing wrong with boundaries. There is nothing wrong with saying, I am not comfortable talking to you. I don't feel that your line of questioning is relevant for me, and I don't feel that I need to answer you, and I'm not going to. So please excuse me from my space. Okay? And I want you to feel empowered. Okay? I want you to feel empowered. Yes, I do when I can. I do speak to them both when I can. Tappen, okay? Yeah. Moda Myers, you started the channel, with me, really. Although the channel exists, he made BlaXit into, what it is. I just carried on with the legacy and put the hard work in to make it, still here today. You understand? So, yeah, I do. I love them. I love them both, and I knew Franklin from England anyway. And I love what he's doing and, what he's representing. And I love the fact that he's promoting African spirituality now as well. I really love that. So, yes, I do. And I love what Woda Maya is doing by now reconnecting all of the diaspora together as Africans. And changing the narrative as what we see Africa as. And in fact, it was his, viral interview of me when I said that England is a dump, Africa is paradise, which is why I'm even here. So, I've always got reverence and gratitude to both of them, because also Franklin helped me when I was going through, serious racism with my son in school in England. And this is why I say to you that when I had to go against them, I had to be strong. And I want you to be strong. I want you to be strong enough to stand in your black power, in your African power today. Because I was disappointed. I was disappointed that why are you even responding? Like this is, they have no power over you. They only have the power that you give them. Okay, they only have the power that you grant them. So I want you to stand in your power today. Put a black, fist emoji up for me, or a heart or something. Give me a thumbs up, but give me a black fist emoji and say, I'm standing in my power. You owe them nothing. They owe you everything. Okay? They've taken from us for centuries. They've taken everything, our resources, our land, our lives. Okay? So I just wanted to say that, so if you do get a chance, do go and watch. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah? Do go and watch that. It's so important. So I wanted to tell you today, this is a heartfelt message from me. I also had a dream that I want to share as well. And I will go through the principles of my art. I know I go, from one thing to another sometimes. It's because I love you, okay? And I need to share this information with you because you're Black magnificent, as Dr. Cam Bonwood said. And I'm hoping that I will be sharing some information with him on the main channel, okay? So just look out for that, okay? Watching the Hawks, Hotep, okay? And, especially our scientists as well. Look at all of our great creations that we made. And, we have our own Black people going online to call people stupid liars when they don't even know the facts about their own history. If they were to do their own research, they would realize that they're sitting out calling themselves patriots or whatever, Black patriots or whatever they want to call themselves, talking absolute crap. They don't know their history. They don't know their facts, So I want us to stand in our power. But I want to say something. I was so moved that I want to tell you something, and I wrote it myself, right? Wanting to change your proximity to whiteness is a natural impulse for displaced Africans, Black people globally. Okay? I'm going to say it again. You wanting to come back to Africa, which we facilitate, by the way, we facilitate your repatriation, relocation. We help you to get your land or to buy your house. We help you to get, whether it's your driving license, your residency, whether, it's finding that school for your child. We help you, okay? We help you. This is what we are here to do. Yeah, we go and we find land, okay, and we negotiate that land to make it a reduced price for you to come and settle on, for you to come and have an alternative, because you don't have to live there. Right now, I'm in Gambia. I've been in Gambia living permanently for over 6 years. I first came here in 2011, and I tell you, it is the best decision that I have made. I love my life. I love my life, and I made a decision for wanting to change my proximity to whiteness because I was not comfortable with it. Yeah, and it's a natural impulse. I've done different kinds of programs about the psychology behind it and what they did to us during enslavement, so that we would think that running away from our enslavers was a bad idea. Okay, I discussed that, and I went into the psychology of it. I went into, intermittent reinforcement. I've gone into so many other subjects that I think is so important for us to understand the psychology behind what they've done to us. And so what they've done is they've made us feel as though like we have to respond, we have to be beholden, we have to be grateful to them, we have to put some badge of honor on them, we have to see them as our white saviors. Hell no, those days are over. Okay, those days are over. You can come to Africa and live the dream. Okay, you really can, and I mean it, because at the end of the day, I would rather be in a place where I'm surrounded by my own people than be living in a racist country any day of the week. Okay, any day of the week. Okay, so wanting to change your proximity to whiteness is a natural impulse for displaced Africans, okay, and Black people globally. So do not apologize for it. Don't try and suppress your anxiety. Because I used to wake up with anxiety. When I watched the film, it brought me right back to, being in England. And that's why sometimes art is a great form of, of healing. And being in Africa is really a part of your healing. It is a part of breaking down the construct that they have created around us. Cara Lumsden said, on and offline, sis. Yeah, absolutely. Is that service available anywhere, sis? I know somebody who's looking. Yeah, if I don't have the connection, and I have connections with other people in other countries, so I do my very best to keep that network open, whether it's Ghana, whether it's Tanzania, whether it's Kenya, wherever. So I do my best, yeah? Kalumi said, are your family from the Caribbean or from West Africa? Well, obviously it's West Africa. In terms of where we're born, because I was born in England. However, my heritage, my ethnicity is West African, but my nationality is what was on my passport, which is British. The nationality of my parents and where they were born is in the Caribbean, which is Jamaica. However, we are all Africans, because you take an orange tree and you plant it in China, it still becomes an orange tree. It's still an orange tree. The Mandinka saying is that, because you place a log in a pond does not make it a crocodile. Okay? So we are still Africans regardless. Okay? So respect, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Of course you can. Of course you can. Okay. So I was just saying that I want you to remember that, and I want you to remember that. Okay. Wanting to change your proximity to whiteness. So in other words, wanting to move away from it, yeah, is a natural impulse, yeah, for displaced Africans. It is normal. So I want you to feel that. And, when you feel anxiety when you get up, I want you to now normalize it. I want you to normalize it by saying that they have no power over me. I am going to neutralize it. Okay? I am going to normalize feeling strong in my power as who I am, and I take my power back. Okay? I want us now to take our power back. Take your power back, Black. Okay? Okay, because listen, inner peace flows from where you feel honored. Okay, let me say that again. Inner peace flows from where you feel honored. If you don't feel honored where you are, your inner peace will not flow. That is the reason why you will always have, issues of feeling uncomfortable around, certain police environments, certain public gatherings, certain things happening. You will feel, very hurt by seeing public lynchings and disappearances of, our Black women. This is the reason why. Okay, so. And another thing that I want to add, okay, I wanted to mention this a few weeks ago. It was about the Chat GPT. I don't know if you all saw the Chat GPT where this AI, I've been speaking a lot about AI recently, and, part of Maat is also talking about fake and falsehood, okay? And remember that Chat GPT had to be programmed, okay? So if you use Chat GPT, I personally don't have it, I must confess. But if you use ChatGPT recently, it was asked a question by a vlogger. Do you know it was certain tribes from West Africa that was selling Africans along with Africa? Well, I'm going to ask you, how many slave ships did they own? How many plantations did they own? Can you answer me that? Because I burn down your village, I rape your wife, I kill your children, and I make you work for me, does that mean that I'm compliant? I think not. If I come into your village and I burn it down, your grandparents, your children, I rape your wife in front of you, I kill your wife in front of you, and I take you into captivity and I force you to work for me, does that mean that I'm compliant? We need to stop this negative, very bad narrative of trying to blame ourselves for what we are not fully responsible for. I am tired of it. Tell me, who owned the slave ship Jesus? Was it an African? You want to be there singing certain songs without even knowing the meaning of them. Haven't we been conditioned to enough pain that we now have to go and cause enough pain? Why don't we talk about what they did to us? Isn't that more important? I think so. In the absence of reparations, I think so. We need to be talking about what was done to us. I made the circle return to Africa, and I haven't seen any of that. Okay? So let me be clear. Okay? Let me be clear. Hello, Willie Rivers. Okay? Go on, name all the ships. Name all the African-owned slave ships that went to Charleston, that went to North Carolina, that went to England, that went to the Caribbean. Go on. That went to Jamaica, that went to Barbados. No, go on. Tell me the names of them. I'd like to know. Tell me the African-owned slave ships that took our brothers and sisters and babies and children from the shores of Africa. Tell me. Until you can, hold your peace. Okay? Now, I was talking about, I was responding to a comment. Okay? Now, ChatGPT, okay? Do you need ChatGPT to tell you that you're divine? Now, there was this whole hurrah, and I was going to talk about it at the time, but I felt that it was better for me to take a step back and to analyze my position and why I actually felt offended. I was actually feeling offended that, a question was asked to a computer about, if you was to come from heaven and, you could choose your race, what race would you choose to be? And the computer said, I would choose to be a part of the black race, okay? And the reasons why. Now, a black brother programmed that, and I'm so proud of him. But artificial intelligence is artificial. That's exactly what it means. Hello, Risa. How are you? Risa Vlogs. How are you? KM Up. Africa is the largest continent in the world. Thank you, Wendy Green. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you? I will say hi to everybody. Fatima, I hope you're here. Welcome to you. Thank you so much. McConnell, if you're here, I hope you're feeling better these days. Okay. So, did you need ChatGPT to tell you that? Did you need ChatGPT to tell you that you're one of the most resilient races on the face of the planet? Did you need ChatGPT to tell you that you are the most oppressed, suppressed, most targeted, most murdered, most killed, most targeted, most enslaved, most imprisoned, most undereducated, underfunded race on the planet? Did you? I think not. I think not. So my attitude was like, I don't understand what the hoorah was about. Did you need ChatGPT to tell you that, the white race has been responsible for the most killing, the most debauchery, the most genocide, the most theft, the most destruction, the most poverty, the most tyranny, the most sadness, the most bloodshed on the face of the planet? Did you need to know that? The most disease? Did you need ChatGPT to tell you that? Okay? So, like I said, we all know, right, which race represents Isfat, okay? Isfet, let me say it, pronounce it properly, Isfet, which we talked about before. Isfet is the opposite to Maat, okay? Isfet represents chaos, violence, evil, And it's proven and evidenced on on a global scale. It is a global power. It's a controlled genocidal system of manipulation and theft. Okay? And Maureen Ed said they are still responsible for the most evils of this world today. Okay? I've got your back, some white guy somewhere in the US. Okay, like I said, I can't control who watches the channel, but we are Maat, okay? And we need to practice that among ourselves. Okay, we are Maat. I'm going to go into Maat because it's important that we learn these principles among ourselves. I forgot to put Do Not Disturb on. I'm so sorry. You'll be hearing notifications. I should have done it before. And last time I put Do Not Disturb on, I forgot to take it off, and I wondered why I wasn't receiving any calls. But anyway, and I was offline for a while. And my other phone battery, let me just tell you this, on my other number, my phone battery has gone big, and so I have to change it. Okay, so please just use this WhatsApp number and not the other one, please. Okay, so I think, last week I covered the kind of modern definition, and I also want to cover the ones from chapter 125 of the Anubi papyrus. Okay, because another thing that I want to mention, I had a dream before I go into it. I had a really strange dream, and I want to share it with you, right? We have to take our rainbow back. This dream, right, was, I don't want to go into too much detail on it because it will take too long, and I want to cover the old, I've got your back. What's this? My actually Z, ZZ, you know who you are, Z. If you're watching, thank you for watching. Yeah, my sister's got my back on that one, so she's actually going to be going. So thank you, Z. You know who you are, Sister Zena. Yeah, she'll be covering my back on that one. Thank you, Zena. Okay, regarding Burkina Faso. So we need to take our rainbow back. Okay, now our rainbow, and I say our rainbow because I'm going to explain to you, I'll break it down a little bit. Maybe I'll break it down even more next week. But we need to take our rainbow back. Yeah, certain deities, the dream I had was so clear. Certain, deities and orishas and goddesses are not happy with how the rainbow is being misused. Now, the dream was so deep, okay? The dream was so clear to me that I said, you know what? I have to look into this dream because, it means something. Son, would you be able to pass me some water, please, my love? It means something. And the dream, it kept saying, we have to take our rainbow back. We have to take our rainbow back. Yeah, and I believe in it. And in the rainbow, in the dream, I was seeing like these creatures and animals that were rainbow colored. Yeah, and like these beautiful like deities and like rainbows in the sky, and and then I was like seeing it crumpled up in the sky, like with storms and things going through it, where it's not being represented for what it is. Okay, it was a lot deeper than that, but I don't want to, go into too much detail, but we have to take our rainbow back, okay? And this is a part of African spirituality. We have to take our rainbow back. The rainbow that's being used right now to represent deviant lifestyles is not the correct use of the rainbow. In fact, it is a defiling of the rainbow, and they are angry. I think our ancestors, I think our past, thank you, my love. Yeah? I think that they are angry because I saw destruction on this earth. You hear me? It was a serious dream. I don't want to scare anybody, but it was a serious dream. Brimfire. Okay? Now, when I looked into it, I couldn't believe what I found out. So I want to share. So, Aida, widow, yeah, is a rainbow serpent. I'm going to say again, Ayida. Check it out, okay? Widow is a rainbow servant, yeah? Mababa, yeah? Wana Warisa, that's Mbaba, Mababa, yeah? Mwana, Mwana, Warisa, right? Is a Zulu fertility rainbow goddess of Southern Africa, yeah? And then you also have Ochumeri of Yoruba, another rainbow serpent. I swear I cannot make this up, right? And it is a deity in Yoruba tradition, okay? It is an Orisha, and it is a dragon that is coiled around a rainbow, and it is a path to divine consciousness. It is not to be misused. The rainbow is a powerful sign. It is not to be misused. Ayuda Weda she was thought to existed before the earth, okay? And she was the creator, the goddess creator that helped to create with Mawa Lisa in the formation of the world, responsible for holding together the earth and, if you like, the spiritual world, or the heavens, or the other realms, yeah? The spiritual realms. Right? And she bestows love and well-being on her followers. And she teaches about the fluidity and the connection between body and spirit. Body and spirit. And we are allowing our rainbow and our deities and our orishas to be defiled. Defiled. Kerem, hi, how are you? Yeah? Yeah, I want to, Maureen. I want to, definitely. Yeah. Maxwell Ebanks, good morning. How are you today? I'm well, thank you. And Kirim, welcome from New Zealand. BlaXit is reaching New Zealand. Wow. Wow. And you also in New Zealand and also in Australia, you also have the rainbow serpent. Now, there is something to this dream. And it was a feeling of great anger. It was a feeling of great distress. It was a feeling of great disrespect. And I don't know why they channeled to me, dreamed to me, came to me. And maybe it's because I need to be the voice piece to share this with you. Okay? Maybe in line with the principles of Maat. Yeah? But Ayida Widow was a powerful spirit among the Fun and the E people, okay? And when I say E, it's E-W-E, yeah? Ew, maybe I'm saying it wrong, ew. People, okay, of Benin, okay? And also it was followed up in Haiti and also some other countries as well, yeah? And she is the rainbow serpent. She is the other heart of Dambala spirit, and is also associated with fertility and wind and water and wealth. Okay? Maba Wana Waresa is also a revered goddess in the zoo for the Zulu people in South Africa, and she is a goddess of fertility, agriculture and harvest, and she lives in the clouds and is said to build her hut from rainbow arches. And she supposedly found a husband, and that husband was a human. Okay, so I just want to say we need to take our rainbow back. This is like, it was so powerful in my dream. We need to take our rainbow back, yeah? Ochumere, right? The Orisha, from Yoruba, Orisha is also a spirituality system of West Africa associated with rainbows and wealth and transformation. And is also a divine serpent, symbolizing renewal, transformation, and also the connection between the other spiritual realms and the earth. Yeah? They also represent the broader concepts of not just fertility, but communications, connections, connectivity between the realms, and of course the rainbow, which served as their visual manifestation. How can you take something which is supposed to represent fertility, water, nature, the connection between us and our spirituality, and turn it into something that you cannot create a child from? A deviant lifestyle that you cannot create a child from. We are allowing our natural rainbow, a manifestation of our divinity, to be destroyed, and we must stop this. My dream was very clear. We must stop this. There's going to be huge ramifications if we do not. It is ungodly. Okay? It is anti-creation. It really is. And so, you know, I just wanted to say that before I went into my art, that we need to take our rainbow back. We cannot allow people to misuse our culture. We cannot allow people to misappropriate something as divine as a rainbow. How? These goddesses represent fertility, yeah? And the other Ochare, he changes man to woman during one part of the year to the other. So it represents both male and female. How can we allow our culture to be defiled? How can we allow the representation of our divinity to be defiled? And why do we allow it? Why? Because we're afraid to speak up? Because when they call, we must answer? Because we have to agree with everything that they do? Because we must comply? No, I don't comply. And that's why I'm living in Africa, where it's illegal, unlawful. I don't comply to that deviant lifestyle. I do not comply. And my rainbow is my rainbow is my rainbow. And I will wear rainbow. And it does not mean that I am in any other alphabet community. I wear my rainbow because it's a representation of our divinity. And that should not be defiled. Take back your rainbow. It is demonic. Take back your rainbow. They have sex demons on them. Sex demons that make them perverse. Why can't you abstain? What's wrong with celibacy? Why can't you abstain? What is driving you to these, promiscuous nastiness? What is driving you? It must be a sex demon on you. Yeah? Making you go and do what you're doing. And all the pedophiles and what is going on in this world, and that is why we need Maat. And I'm coming back to it. I'm going to go back to Maat. You understand? I'm going back to the original principles. And I'm going to go back to them. And I'm going to go over them right now. Yeah? 1, I have not committed a sin. These acts are seen as sins. They are seen as sins. It's defiling your own body. It's a transgression. Okay? Lying, violence, the secretiveness that goes with it, the deceit, the dishonesty, all of it. So the number 1 is I have not committed sin. Everybody knows the 7 deadly sins. Everybody knows what is a sin. Okay? 2, I have not committed robbery and violence. How many crimes now are starting off because of robbery? And what's that caused by? Poverty. That's why poverty is a crime. That is why, oh gosh, sorry, I get so passionate. My words get tangled coming out of my mouth, okay? the unequal distribution of wealth is a crime. How can one person, I remember, one of the things that struck me, I went to Mexico, and one of the things that struck me in the city of Mexico was here you had a barra, yeah? Which was like, poverty, houses on top of houses, like on a mountain, like of just pure squalor. Barrios, they call them barrios. And it was like where all the poor people lived. And then on the other side, you had like a car showroom, like a Porsche car showroom. And you had like all these big houses. And it was like, they were like this. And I just, it showed me like so clearly. I was with my daughter and we're both struck. We went out to go and get some food and we were staying in this very nice hotel. Don't get me wrong, yeah, maybe hypocrite. But I wasn't going to stay in the barrios because I didn't know the barrios, and we were told to avoid them because they're very dangerous. However, we did meet some people from the barrios that were very nice actually, but it just goes to show you, and we went to the temple of the sun and the moon as well, and we saw some really interesting things. We had some very interesting place there, and I didn't realize how many black people were in Mexico either. So that was an eye-opener for me, and that was a time when they had the swine flu. We were told not to travel, and we did anyway, and only to find out when we went there was like no swine flu. It was like a media thing. I just could not believe it. But it shows the power of the media when they want to control the narrative and want to control you. So don't be controlled by the narrative of Western media. Control your own mind. Yeah, that's one way to decolonize your mind. Phil Scott wrote a book. I think it's the 7 steps to decolonization. And in his book, that's one of the areas in his book that he talks about is about decolonizing the mind. Is not letting them have control of it. Don't drink alcohol. Don't let them have control of it. Don't use drugs. Don't let them have control of it. Don't go into pornography and into all of these, illicit forms of deviant sexuality. Do not let them have control of you. And I think that is so important in terms of decolonizing, your mind. So the number 3 is I've not stolen anyone's land. Oh my goodness, they went to Africa and stole everybody's land. So, they certainly weren't following the principles of Maat. And, this is not something that you see in other places, but this is like one of the ancient principles of Maat. And this comes from chapter 125 of the papyrus of Anu, yeah, which is what you find in when Anubis was being a practitioner of Duat, okay? And you had to do certain declarations, okay? So anyway, and you can find it. It's in the public domain. You can get it. So number 4 is I have not slain a man or a woman. That means you've not taken the life of somebody else. And they are encouraging us to, take lives of even unborn children now, making us feel comfortable with abortion, comfortable with taking those tablets, to get rid of the child, comfortable, with killing, because they're giving it to us in certain games and making it seem as though it's gameplay, and people are being confused now because some of the games are very lifelike between that and look at that guy that took the sword and went out on the road killing people without lack of sleep. He confused reality with a game. And that's why I talk about the falsehood. Maat talks about the difference between the falsehood and the AI and the games. They're blurring consciousness. Okay, so that's really important. I have not slain a man or woman. I have not killed anybody. That's so important when people and some people who are in certain so-called gangs or secret societies and groups, part of the initiation is to do just that. And then do some kind of necromancy to go and talk to the person that you've slain. I mean, very strange things that are going on in this world right now. Okay, and don't think they're not using witchcraft, slavery, spell work and witchcraft and wizardry and all these different kinds of things. They do this. They do this. It's very steeped in Western culture. Very steeped in Western culture. When people talk about the Round Table, when people talk about the Great Wizard of Oz, think about it. Yeah, and the witches, think about it. Okay, so I have not stolen food. They've stolen food. They steal food every day. That's why some people have and some people have not. Also stealing food is also engineering food and stopping those foods from being able to regenerate, because the seeds don't regenerate. That's stealing food. Okay, I have not swindled offerings. Okay, that is people who are doing that to others. Some of these people that proclaim to be false prophets and false, what they call them, religious leaders, and have these super churches where they're just there to take money to get their own private jets and their own mansions. I have got nothing wrong with people enriching themselves, but I don't think you should do it off of deception. Okay, I do not. Okay, Kilumi said, Hab 12 is, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establish a city by iniquity. There you have it. Okay, hello Chris, Tapler, welcome to the live. Thank you for joining us. 7, I have not stolen from God or goddess. How often do we even hear the term goddess? We've even stolen our own goddess. We've even robbed the even existence of goddess. And what are we doing? And when I say that, we have even robbed the divinity of the divine female. Okay? And I say that because, the way in which black females are being treated globally is a crime. Is a crime. The inequity. The way in which especially black women, are treated, and why is it we represent 49.7% in America of single parents? We're the highest ratio. Why are our men not standing by us? Why are our men not appreciating us? Why are our men not valuing us? Why are our men abandoning us and abandoning our children? Why are our men not honoring us? Why are our men not respecting us? Why are our men being pulled into, temptation, into, Jezebel situations? Why are our men being tempted into deviant lifestyles? Why are our men, not raising their children? Why are our men not supporting their children? And I'm not saying all, I'm saying 49.7% are single parents in America, black women. So where are our men? And then you watch these programs like Pop the Balloon, where these men say, oh, she got a child? No, thank you. And then they're denigrating single parents. But where are the men? Why aren't they talking about the men that are supposed to be accountable for their children? How can you denigrate a woman for being a single parent when she was abandoned by a man who ran after another woman? You can't. And they're also male single parents as well. Where other women have been tempted by other men and run off and left their children. It happens. It happens. But we have to try, and I am myself, I am not a hypocrite. I can talk about my own situation all day long, but I honor and stand on my responsibilities. Okay? So we are stealing. When that man is not, paying for his child, he is stealing. When that man, I can talk from my own experience. You understand? I've been separated for nearly 4 years. Over 3.5 years. I've been divorced for over 3 years. Not one buttocks, not one penny from his father. To help him, not with school, not with nothing at all. Only seen him twice in the last, nearly 4 years. Absolutely irresponsible. Settlement agreement, still waiting for my share. Where is it? Why should we have to take you to court? to do the right thing by your child. Irresponsible. Irresponsible. Yeah? That is stealing from your child. That is stealing from your woman. That is stealing. She's now having to do both roles. Why? Why? Because you wanted to go out and sow your oats and, sleep with another woman. Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense. We need to have self-discipline. We have to have self-control. We need to have obedience. It's important. Okay? Thank you. Cara said, facts, however, it is a heavy weight to remove their lies. It is. But we start piece by piece, bit by bit. You can unravel the lies, okay? By empowering yourself. By, giving yourself, granting yourself that knowledge. That information is very, very important. Okay? Yeah? And so Cara Lumsden said, nope, I've never ever done a lot with the 42 laws of Maat, and my ancestors and I still speak some of our Kemetic language. Well, let's go there and let's teach it. Let's share it. Yeah? Let's do this. So I was saying, yeah, that's more than strange. I don't think there's a word for it. But we're stealing from our gods and our goddesses, and this is what I'm saying. Because, your child is a representation. It's a divine representation. You don't know what that child is going to achieve in the future. It's a gift. Your child is a divine gift. Why would you take from your child? Why would you not nurture your child? Why would you not take care of your child? Why would you not invest in your child's future? Why would you not input and help teach that child? It's important. We have a duty, and we need to stand on this duty. We cannot follow the Western system. Okay? It does not serve us. Okay? Number 8, yeah? I have not told lies. I have not told lies. This seems to be the latest things. There are so many people that are pathological liars, habitual liars. They can't help themselves. They're compulsive liars, and they do it without any kind of, without any kind of thought of consequence. They don't think that there's any kind of consequence, but there is. There is, and so a lot of people, especially when they want to go and cheat, they want to go and and hide behind your back and cheat. You'll say, oh, so where did you go? They'll lie. They're not going to say, oh, I was at Cheryl's banging her. You understand? They're going to say, oh no, I bumped into Winston at the gym and we just went for a drink. They'll lie. The men that are on the DL while they're married or while they're with the women, they're not telling them that, oh, I'm there with Frank. Yeah, they're not. I said, oh yeah, I went. I just popped out for a drink with the boys. He's not saying that I booked a hotel room and I was there, doing the nastiness with Frank. No, he's going to lie, and that's what I'm saying. Our society has become a society of liars, lying for no reason whatsoever. So this is another important thing: is that holding regard and being able to tell the truth. It's like being able to tell the truth is something that's become so hard for us. Okay, so I have not told lies. It's number 8. 9, I have not carried away food. Yeah, in other words, I've not stolen. Yeah, I've not stolen something like from someone else's house, basically. Yeah, I've not been in your house and taken out food out of your house, basically. How many people you've had and they've come to stay in your house and then something's gone missing. Okay, I've had that. I've had that. Even, you can even change that into other things, and into things that people have done. I have not cursed. You know how many people are using witchcraft and magic and hexes, and they're into it big time behind your back. You're thinking, oh, why are so many things going wrong in my life? Yeah, why is this going wrong in life? And there's someone that you don't even know, you never even might even know them, they just bad mind you. You understand? They've gone to Obeah Man, or they've gone, to some practitioner, and they've done it. You know, this is why we need to get back in line, because, okay, if you want to protect yourself, fine, but you should be going there to do things, you know, make sure she don't have no money more, make sure that the money done, you know, or, I just want to make sure that she doesn't have, you know, that car anymore, because I've seen it parked across the road, and I don't think that black people should have it. So, you know, my old boy, my lovely warlock there, has just done something on the car, so the car's going to, you know, make sure it's stolen soon. You know, they do it. Yeah? But this is against the principles of Maat. This is against the law of Maat. Lying is against the law of Maat. Going and taking something out of someone else's house is against the law of Maat. Yeah? I have not closed my ears to the truth. Number 11. How many times people telling us the truth, yet you want to act like you don't hear? Someone say to you, yo, you know what, me thinks there's someone, I'll be on you, you know. No one would do that to me. I don't believe in it. I don't really want to. No, I think it's your ex. Yeah, I think it's your ex-girlfriend, actually, you know, just giving a hypothetical situation. I think your ex-girlfriend's come in and has hexed our relationship because we were fine. But all of a sudden things are going wrong. I think that we need to, no, I'm not believe in it. I don't believe in it. I don't think them things would happen or whatever. You understand? At the end of the day, we close our ears to the truth. She said, no, I had a dream. And that dream was so clear. I could see it. I saw her. And I want us to go and check it out. I want us to go and get a reading, divination or whatever. No. You understand? Why? Because you close your ears to the truth. People are using that bad magic. They are. And they do. But you want to close your ears to the truth. You want to pretend that it's not happening. Or you want to pretend that your ex is so perfect when you really find out that she's a hoe witch. You understand? Practitioner and selling her body and doing whatever and sleeping with any man. You understand? I remember once having a conversation with someone. The weirdest thing about someone ex's girlfriend. He said, oh, his ex, you know, his ex is all out. He didn't say his ex, like he said, like his girlfriend is everybody's girlfriend. I was like, what? What do you mean his girlfriend is everybody's girlfriend? That means everybody's had her. So this man, he doesn't even know that his friend, say the friend's called Franklin, he doesn't even know that his friend Franklin has slept with his now ex-girlfriend. And that when she was his girlfriend, right? When this girl was this man's girlfriend, yeah, she was everybody else's girlfriend. I was just like, where? You know, so when this guy Franklin told me that, I was like, oh, okay. You know, I was just like, no, you know, I did not close my ears to the truth. So I said, look, you know, I need to tell you this. Your friend told me, yeah, that your girlfriend is everybody's girlfriend. Your friend Franklin told me that your girlfriend, right, who's now your ex-girlfriend, was everybody's girlfriend. So that means everybody was sleeping with her behind your back. Yeah? What do? You shoot the messenger. Why? Because of the fact that I'm telling you the truth, but you want to close your ear to the truth because you have a perception of the person that is not true. And sometimes when the truth is painful, we still have to face it. Yeah? When someone says that woman, she's doing magic to keep him, she's doing love spells on him, she's doing this and that, you have to sometimes, although you don't want to believe it, you don't think that people do that, you have to open your ears to the truth and understand that woman has been putting binding magic, dominion magic, love spells on you, every kind of magic on you that you can imagine, okay, in order to keep you, to stop you from progressing, in order to stop you from going into a new relationship with someone else or being with someone else. And so you have to understand that these things happen. I'm telling you, I'm in Africa, I hear about stories about it, and I heard about it in England as well. You understand? Let's not pretend that those things don't happen. Sometimes we have to stop closing our ears to the truth and understand that there are wicked people out there doing wicked things. We have to stop closing our ear to the truth. There are wicked people out there doing wicked things. And that's why we have to start living by Maat so that we can start to save ourselves and save our lives and save our future generation by working on principles and laws which are going to prolong us and not following the Western ways. Okay, following the African way. I'm telling you, yeah, I have not committed adultery. Adultery now is like water. You understand? I remember even myself, I can even talk about myself. I remember reading that I committed adultery. I was like, who did? You understand? I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. Adultery is when you go and you have, you know, I can't say it on YouTube, smex, yeah? When you go and have sex, right, while you're married to somebody else, you go and have sexual intercourse with somebody else, right, and you continue that whilst you're married. It's called adultery, okay? That is what it is. And I was accused of it. I did not do it. I did not do it. I can just clear my name now. So before anyone asks, I did not do it because I don't believe in it. I believe in being faithful. You know, I believe in being pure. I believe that it's important to honor those vows that you make. I can't talk for other people, but I can definitely talk for me. But I can say that I was a victim of it. And it's very hurtful. So I understand why it is one of the laws. Because we need to honor and respect people's union. You need to stop seeing someone else's wife and coveting her. You need to stop looking at someone else's husband and coveting him. And these deviant peoples, they are targeting married men. Okay? These deviants are targeting married people. So we need to have these laws in place, yeah? I have not made anyone cry. This one struck me, right? And I'm going to talk from my own, my own position because it's important, yeah? I have not made anyone cry. How many of us parents can say that? We've not made our children cry. I can't remember the last time I saw my son cry. Well, I can actually. It was, a few years ago, I saw him cry because he was hit by his father. And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with, violence against children. But, obviously, and seeing him in such a state of distress, it made me cry. How many times can we talk about not making anyone cry? How many times have you been in a relationship where you've gone out of your way to hurt that woman? Where you've gone out of your way to ghost that woman? Where you've gone out of your way to stonewall that woman? Where you've gone out of your way to future fake that woman or future fake that man? Right? Or ignore that man or give that man a silent treatment for no reason when you know he loves you. How many times you go into relationships to use that man and, to use that man for his resources rather than actually love him. And then when you're ready, you discard him to the side in a narcissistic way because that's what narcissists do. Narcissists make you cry. Narcissists come into your life to destroy your life and their avoidance as well. So, how many people can say that I've not made anybody cry? That is a fantastic law because if we cared more about each other, we wouldn't want to make each other cry. If we cared about our children, we can discipline our children without tears, by talking to them, by relating them. Because if we live by these principles ourselves, our children would then know to follow by your example, follow by your lead. How many men don't care? They just walk out of the home. How many men don't care that when they're not seeing their children, they say they're going to see their children? How many women say they're going to see their children, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, and then they don't turn up, and they don't care about that child sitting there crying on their bed, feeling as though they're not worthy, they're not enough, and that they've been let down, and they're not even worthy of that parent's time. You're right, it's a madness out here. You understand? Robert B. Lawrence, yeah? Hello, I love your accent. Thank you so much, Robert. Thank you. Okay, how many of us can say we've not made anybody cry? I have not felt sorrow without reason. I have not felt sorrow. This is the next one, number 14. I have not felt sorrow without reason. What a thing. Now you think about that. How many times have we felt, sorrow without good reason? How many times have we felt sorrow without good reason? Because we allow them to control our narrative. We allow them to control our narrative. So we feel more pity for them than they do for us. And we haven't even proved if what they're saying in their narrative is correct, but we'll still cry for a fictional person that we've not even proved the existence of. Yeah? So number 15, I have not assaulted anybody. I have not. I'm going to be honest and say that I have. When I was a teenager, I had a boyfriend, a lovely boyfriend, okay? And those days, boyfriend was just about holding hands and talking. It's not like today, okay? When you had a boyfriend, it was just like he'd put his chain over your neck, you know? And I'm talking about, 17, like, and I had a boyfriend, and we had gone ice skating in Romford, which was like just outside, because I spent most of my life in Essex, in East London, in Essex, sorry, in England. And so we'd gone ice skating, and after ice skating, we decided to collect some fried chicken. Them times it was Kentucky Fried Chicken. And so we went there to go and get the Kentucky Fried Chicken. Anyway, because there was a group of black people, someone had called the police. And so, this is what we go through, and this is what I'm trying to take you away from, okay? So, someone called the police on the group, and so the police told us, separate, go this way. I said, no, we're all actually going to the same bus stop, and we're all going in the same way. And we're not causing, any affray, and we're not, disturbing the peace. So I don't understand why you're doing this. Next thing you know, another van load of police come, and we were waiting for like a friend. Let's say his name's like BJ, and he's really tall, and he comes out. We're waiting for the other guys to come out of the chicken shop with their chicken, and they told us, to dissipate, to go. So we said no, and I said, anyway, I'm waiting for my boyfriend, so I can't go anywhere. So anyway, waiting for my boyfriend. Next thing you know, my boyfriend comes out. They tell him to go, and he goes like, why are you doing this? Next thing you know, it was him and his friend. They sit upon him and then start beating him in the head with their truncheons, right? And then charge them with obstructing the police. Okay, so I have not, assaulted anyone. I have not assaulted anyone. They assault us all the time. And, I got jumped. Believe you me, I assaulted people back. So I can't say I haven't assaulted, because I think it was in self-defense. So I think you can also put this into context of self-defense as well. Okay? Yeah? And then once again, I have not stolen anyone's property. Okay? Stealing is very much a part of Maat. Stop stealing. Stop taking what doesn't belong to you. Okay? I have not been an eavesdropper. How many times, we listen in on people. We listen in on people's conversations. Yeah? And we go and follow, and we go and labrish. And then that labrish turns out to be wrong, and then we get someone in trouble. Huh? How many times people have watched things online which are absolutely fabrication, but you go and you spread it and you talk about it anyway? It's the same thing. I had people listen to half-heard conversations and then go and misconstrue the information. Like, why? So, eavesdropping, I agree with that. Law. I think that that's something that we need to be mindful of, I have not falsely accused anyone. Oh my goodness. 18, I have not falsely accused anyone. I have been so falsely accused. I have seen so many things about myself that is just completely and totally untrue. It is unbelievable. How many times have you accused someone of doing something that they didn't do? Accuse someone of cheating, accuse someone of lying, accuse someone of, some people are secretive, and sometimes they accuse you. That makes you be falsely accused, because you carry on shady. So if we don't carry on shady, if we don't, carry on in these ways, secretive, hiding things, being deceptive, being deceitful, then you won't be falsely accused. And sometimes you're falsely accused because of jealousy. Because someone is just jealous of you. They will start just to create all kinds of elaborate lies and deceit and stories and, slander and defamation, just for the fact that they can't be you, They can't have your man. They don't have your money. They don't drive your car. They don't live in your house. They don't have a swimming pool, whatever the situation is, because they can't dress like you dress. You know, they listen, it goes on, yeah? I have not been angry without reason. I think that a lot of us can put our hands up to this, being angry with reason and also being angry without reason. You know, I think we can. But I think that's a good thing, because some people get angry, you know, and the reason that they're getting angry for can cause someone else's death. Next, you know, someone's getting stabbed up and there was no reason for it because one person lost their temper. Yeah? Yeah? Because someone lost their temper. And so someone's asked me, am I still doing videos about the home front? Of course, I do it on the main channel. But as you know, like I told you, we got demonetized. So we're just trying to sort that out, okay, before we load up. And as you know, 2 of our team members, at the moment, we're just pulling the team back together again. So yeah, we do videos about the home front. But this is important. This is important. Because at the end of the day, when you're coming back to Africa, we still need to have guidelines to keep ourselves in check. Okay? This is on the home front. This is on the home front because it stops some of the things that are happening from happening. Yeah? Among ourselves. It's very important. Okay? Yeah? I have not seduced anyone's wife or anybody's husband. Okay? Another thing, very important, don't go and break up someone's home. Don't be a home wrecker. You know, I had that situation. I experienced that. I invited someone into my home thinking that I was going to help, only to find out that they had, you know, ulterior motives. Okay? And then on top of those ulterior motives, they went out to try and destroy my character. Yeah? And to steal my brand. And to do various other terrible things. And then to stalk me and then to try and trespass on my property. Absolutely ridiculous, because some people are obsessed. Some people are dangerously obsessed, and you have to be careful because not everybody is of sound mind. Okay, some are bunny boilers. They are literally bunny boilers. They exist. I experienced it myself. Okay, I experienced it myself. Yeah. I have not polluted myself. Now, when you've not polluted that yourself, it means that you've not put, you know, drugs and, you know, you're not an alcoholic. You're not addicted to a substance that is going to harm your body. Yeah? This is also a thing that they use for us. They use alcohol as a trap. They use drugs as a trap for our community. So I'm glad that this law exists, because if we're not polluting ourselves and we are keeping, you know, it pure with water and with other things, then this is good for us. This is good for us, okay? 23, I have not disobeyed the law. It depends on the law, but I think they're talking about the laws of Maat, so we'll leave that one there. I have not been exclusively angry, and I think that's important because anger can cause so many problems, especially in relationships, in workplaces and other things, and we're angry at each other sometimes for no reason whatsoever. And sometimes we show each other more anger than we will show an outside race. So we will more shout at another black person, get angry with a black person, but then if there's another person from another race, a Caucasian, you're not getting angry with them. You're not saying, oh, sorry, sir, sorry, master, sorry. You understand, but you're doing it differently to your own race. So there's that. I have not cursed the gods or goddesses. How many times do we even forget about our own deities? How many times do we even, you know, sit there and say, oh my, you know, this, my life isn't working out for me, and this and that, and then you do that. Okay, I have not behaved with violence. Okay, that's another thing. Behaving with violence is another thing that can also incite violence. Okay, and we have been victims of this. But if we can keep it within our family and within our community that we're not violent towards each other, wouldn't our communities be a better thing? 27, I have not caused disruption of the peace. Yeah, that will be good. That would be good if we could keep it within our community, where we keep ourselves as peaceful as possible. Okay? I'm not talking about other people. I'm just talking about ourselves within our own community. Okay? This is what I'm doing. I have not acted hastily without thought. How many people act haste without thought? They do things and then live to regret it later. Hurt someone badly and then live to regret it later. Hurt a child badly, live to regret it later. Hurt a partner, hurt your wife, hurt your husband badly and live to regret it later. All because you didn't think, because you acted hastily. You know, you asked for a divorce. You didn't think about the ramifications. You didn't think about the repercussions. You just asked for a divorce. You didn't think about it. Yeah? You're there with your partner one day and then you just leave. You don't even say goodbye. You don't say anything. You cut off the phone. You leave them. You leave them in tears. You don't think about the distress. You don't think about the pain that you caused that person, the trauma, the triggers, the abandonment pain and issues that you might have, brought up that person, all the old emotions that you might have, brought up with that person, because people are acting hasty. They're not acting with thought. And what do they run to? They run to, they run into a worse situation with someone who cheats and lies and just wants what they have and doesn't really like them. And then what do? They go and do exactly the same thing, because karma comes back around and that person takes what they can and they leave them without a word. It comes back. Okay? So I have not overstepped the boundaries, of my concerns. That is when people go into other people's business and try and destroy their life. Stop going into other people's business. Stop talking about other people's business. It's not your concern. How many people have gone online, for example, in my life and try and talk about my private life, my personal life, my home life? It's not your concern. Talk about your own life. Talk about your own personal life. Talk about your own business. Talk about what you're doing. Yeah? Stop overstepping lines of concern. I like this one. Yeah? I have not exaggerated my words when speaking. Yeah? You say, I got this and it's so this and it's so that and it's so this. And then when you go and you see it, you're like, that's not quite what I thought you were saying. You mislead people. So that's another thing. Yeah? I have not worked evil, similar to like I was saying. People are out there and they're using all different kinds of bad magic, or they're kitchen witches, stirring up stuff, trying to destroy other people's life, trying to take away their money, trying to destroy their marriages, trying to take away their job. What? Because of jealousy and envy. Stop it. Yeah? Stop it. Trying to hold on to a man that doesn't want you using magic. Stop it. Trying to entice a woman using magic. Stop it. Stop it. I have not used, 32, I've not used evil thoughts, words or deeds. Yeah, that is wonderful. We should not be using evil thoughts, evil words or evil deeds. I watched the movie Karen where, spoiler alert, right? She ends up shooting the black sister, right? I swear down. It's one of them films, you've got to watch it, all right? The white Karen ends up shooting, nearly killing the black sister. You hear me? Right? Because they have used evil thoughts, words, and deeds against us. Slavery is use of evil words, thoughts, and deeds. Okay? So many of them. I want to quickly finish because I've gone over time again. But oh my gosh. Okay, let me just quickly rush, okay? I have not polluted the water. Very important. We're letting these, big multinational companies, BP, Freeport Moran, all of these companies come and pollute the water. We have to, we have to get control. We need to regain control. Okay, we really do. I have spoken arrogantly, or I have not spoken arrogantly. I have not polluted the waters. 34. I have not spoken arrogantly or angrily. A lot of us are very arrogant, very rude, very disrespectful, very haughty, thinking that we're better than others, thinking that we can talk down on others. I especially have seen this a lot. Like I said, I watched this pop the balloon thing my friend sent to me, and I was so it was like a highlight of some of the worst moments. And The disrespect to the women was unbelievable. Disrespect because she had children. How can you disrespect a woman for having children when to have children is a natural thing? What kind of society are we living in? How can you disrespect a woman because she's been married before? Are you not well? Are you not well? And then the thing is, that the same guy that was disrespecting, I don't want a woman with children. And then she asked him, do you have any children? Yes, 6. Like, you know, stop it. Stop it. We have to stop disrespecting each other and stop being arrogant. I can't stand arrogance. You think you're better than me because you didn't have any children. You think you're better than me because you only had children with one man who beats you all day and all night and you refuse to leave the relationship because you've got no respect for yourself, because you've got no courage, because you've got no bravery. You know, you've got no bravery. You've got no bravery. You've got no self-respect, you've got no dignity. Let the man beat you down, give you children all the time, but you stay dignified. You think you're dignified because you stayed in that relationship with the one man and had children by the one man. I would rather be out of relationship with any man who beat me down and have children by 10 fathers if I had to. If I wanted to have 10 children, then I would. I don't care. I'm not going to stay in an abusive relationship for the sake of, you know, trying to save face to society. Stuff society. Don't care what society says. Don't care what society thinks. At the end of the day, you have to do what's right by you. If you want to have 5 children and this man is mistreating you and you want to go and you met somebody else who's your next husband and you want to have children, go for it. Don't care what people think. Those people that are judging you, look at their own lives. Sometimes their own partner is abusing their children. You understand? Sexually abusing their children. So there are things going on behind their closed doors. So they want to keep their mouth shut and stop looking down on other people. You understand? Other people using arrogance. Oh, I'm so thin. Oh, look at me. You know, thinking they look better than you. Oh, because, you know, look at me because I'm, you know, white. I'm better than you. No, you're not better than me. You know, no, not having it. Not having it at all. Don't let anyone use white arrogance against you, okay? Don't let anyone use any kind of arrogance against you. Oh, I got a better job than you. I earn more money than you. Oh, I've got a better car than you. I live in a better house than you. Listen, allow them. Yeah, whatever you have is for you, okay? Whatever you have is yours. Honor it and honor yourself and appreciate what you have and be grateful for what you have. And always strive for better for yourself. Not because you want to be like anybody else, but because you have your own goals and dreams that you want to amount to. Okay? I have not cursed anyone in thoughts, words, or deeds. Okay? Words are spells. Okay? So be careful what you say when you talk over people. Okay? I have not placed myself on a pedestal. Just what I was saying, thinking that you're better than people. Because what do? You cause other people to feel that they're less than. You make other people feel that they're not enough. You know, destroy another person's self-esteem. How is that fair? How is that fair? You know, I remember once being bullied. I remember once being bullied by this man, and he told me, "Oh, you know, you're fat. I didn't know what the word hag meant, right? To be honest with you, you're fat. You're a hag. You're this. You're that. You know, you're ancient. You're this. You're that. And all of these words, right? All of these words, and all because I told him stay in your lane. You know, you don't belong in my business. Stay in your lane. You understand? This man, he was messed up in the head, and he looks like." I'm sorry, but he looks like a deviant. He looks like a sexual deviant, and he's very unattractive. So to have someone so unattractive who looks like a sexual deviant, do you know what I mean? I said, go and drive your taxi, yeah, and make some money. Go on. You know, I just, those kinds of people, I don't look down on them. I just feel sorry for them, okay? I just feel sorry for them, you know, because it's bullying. It's bullying. You know, who are you to say, you know, what someone's body shape should be? Who are you to think that yours is better than mine? Who are you to think that, you know, you're better than me or you're more superior than me? No one is more superior than you, okay? Let me tell you that, BlaXit family, nobody is more superior than you, right? Don't stand for it, okay? So, okay, I've not stolen what belongs to God and Goddess. 37. I've not stolen from or disrespected the deceased. You know, some of us are family members. that we didn't like. Sometimes people cuss them off, even though they're dead. Okay, not good look. I have not taken food from a child. I have not acted with insolence. Okay, I have not destroyed the property that belongs to another, and I have not dishonored my people. So those I've got to wrap up because obviously I've gone over time heavily. So I rushed through the last one, but these are the principles that I think that we need to adopt. And especially when coming to Africa, it's good to adopt them because you'll find that a lot of them are here already. You'll find that a lot of them are here already. So this is why this has got a lot to do with the African home front, because when we come from the West, they confuse us. They confuse us and they imbue their mindset, their thoughts, their rationale. Okay? And we need to have our own African rationale. Okay? That's what I'm saying. So Cara Lamston said same. It's disrespectful, disgusting and disgraceful, and they're truly not well, and I don't think they realise. It's true, they're not well. They're not mentally well, because you just don't do that, okay? There's another comment I just want to do. Oh, there's a lot. Oh my goodness. I'm really, really sorry. I didn't realise Olodum. I didn't realise that I missed so many comments. So Kilumi, I'm sorry. Nakoshima, I'm sorry. I missed a lot of your comments. And Cara, thank you for contributing a lot to today's show. I did say that I was going to quickly brush on just an element about land purchase, okay? So I want to do that just quickly before I end today's show. This is for you, Sonia. Okay, so I'm just going slightly over. So, for example, you're buying land, okay? And let's say I'm the landowner, or, the company is the landowner, and you said, okay, Jules, Nyancho, Juliet, whatever, I want to purchase a piece of repatriation land. What is the process? Well, the first process is that you approach us and you say, look, I've seen Serenity Estate. I really like, the look of it, whatever. Let's just pass that bit. And what we then do is we do a contract. We send you what's called a land acquisition agreement contract, which stipulates the terms and conditions of that purchase, okay? That's very important, okay? Including cancellation as well. Okay, and yes, there are cancellation fees if you do withdraw from a sale. Okay, so it's just like anything else. Okay, if you go and you buy a plane ticket, and if you have insurance or you don't have insurance, if you don't take that flight, yeah, you veto a part of the fee for the ticket, and on some airlines, you even lose your seat altogether without compensation. So, but we don't do that. We just take a percentage, okay, a small percentage of the value price of the land, okay? But all of those things are in the contract, and we do ask you to read it, and we do go through it with you, and we also do have a lawyer available. The second steps after that is you obviously choose your plot, which has been demarcated by us. Once you've done that, and you've chosen, say, for example, I choose number 13, and once you've done that, then you've obviously gone through how you want to pay for it. Now, the land is customary land, okay? So you will have to be issued with an Alcalo transfer when you have paid the full price of the land. That transfers ownership, okay, from me to you. After that point that you have that Alcalo transfer, which is your land deed, ownership has transferred from me to you. So that gives you your responsibilities, okay? And part of your responsibilities as a landowner is to pay your tax and your taxes. If the land is generally cheap, you find that GRA tax is not a part of the price. Then you would then pay that, okay? and the local tax as well. The local tax is very unaffordable in most places. It depends on the location. Some is like 400 lasses a year. It's the equivalent to like rates, which is probably about $6, something like that. And the GR rate also depends on the land size, etc., etc. And then what you do is that you want to, a bit like land registry, you want to then do your sketch plan, which is like an ordnance map of the location and the dimensions of the land, okay? And with that comes a clearance report, which tells you the usage of the land, because there are various usages for land. Some land is great for agriculture, some is for residential that you can live on. So after you've done that, there's another process, which is, and you've paid your taxes, you've registered for your taxes, you've paid your local taxes, you've paid your GRA tax, you've now done your sketch plan and clearance, okay? You can also do two other things. One, which is a fencing permit, which depends on the size of your plot, what you pay. It's not very expensive at all. And that permit is valid for 2 years, so make sure you use it within 2 years of wanting to build. The other aspect of it is your development permit. Your development permit is when you want to build, so you would have to have an architect design your house, and then they would submit it for approval, okay? You also have what we call your official transfer, which is the government registration, and it's also like a tax, which is about 7,000 lashes, which you pay by EcoBank. We do have someone who's been helping us to do all these things, and that is then submitted. So the first sketch plan is submitted to the Department of Physical Planning and Housing, okay, so DHPP, Department of Physical Planning and Housing. I think I said that. So, and then, but this other one is to the local area council, and there are various area local councils, but a lot of combo is covered under Brikama Area Council. So, and some of it is covered under Banjul. So then you would pay that, and then they would submit a document, which is the transfer document. This document has to be signed by the alcalo and also the CEFO, which is the district chief, and also the person who you bought the land from, and also yourself and a witness, okay? And also the CEFO and the alcalo would also have to stamp your ordnance map as well. After this, you can have a certificate of occupancy, which an agent can do for you, which is usually done when you're occupying the land. And but it doesn't have to be, you can do it at the same time. Thereafter, if you want to, if you choose to, you can also apply and do a leasehold on your property. And there are lots of differences to do with it, so I will go through with that on another program, but I just want to go through the step-by-step process quickly. And then if you want to, you can also have a covenant made with a lawyer as well, you know. So you can do all of those things and all of those processes, you know, in a timed way, okay? In a timed way, because obviously I didn't do my certificate of occupancy until I built my house and I've moved in. So, you know, but I bought the land in 2015. So that I didn't do that until 2020. So there was a 5-year difference because I hadn't built on the land. Okay. So you do it in stages. Okay. And there's no pressure. It's just making sure you do it in a timely way. So we do have someone who helps us with that. So if you are interested, and also if you have bought land from us and you would like us to courier your land document to you, please get in contact with us, because we are now couriering out any land papers which have not been collected by you in person. So if you would like that, we will tell you the courier cost, and then we will have them couriered out to you. Okay. So yeah, we also, of course, we do sweeps, as in I drive-bys of most of the properties that BlaXit has also put out and has marketed and has sold and has acquired. So we do that in order to make sure that, you know, the lands are in good condition, etc., etc. So that's the basic process. I try to do it as slowly as possible. I know I'm out of time, so I just want to do that at the end of the show. That's for Sonia, okay? Just to go through it very slowly with you. In terms of the costs and so on, it really does depend on the size of land and location. So a lot of them are dependent on that. Like I could tell you the Echo Bank because I know that that's like a universal cost. Okay, so yeah, I hope that this has helped you somewhat. I really do, and I do hope that the 7 principles of Maat. I will be hopefully doing another show on this because I have had some interest from a veritable expert, Dr. Cambon. So I'm hoping that we will be talking about that and many other things. There's a lot of things happening in Burkina Faso that I'd like to talk about next week. And I also want to talk about some other things as well that I think is relevant to us making that move. And yes, I will be doing some. It is rainy season at the moment, and that is why you haven't seen so much content going on the main on the main channel. Okay, I'm also trying to sort out the demonetization situation, so do bear with me. I will be still putting out some, you know, shorts and some other information, and I still am going live, so I'm still giving you content, and we will be going back to the main channel very shortly, so please stay with us. Do not abandon us. Okay, we need your support, we need your love. Okay, and so yes, we do. We do have people in other countries, so who offer the same support and service as we do. We've been doing this for years, and I would say that I am a bit of a repatriational specialist now, very good at it. And you know, BlaXit has the largest cabildo. We have the BlaXit cabildo, which has over 500 plots there, which is for diasporan. So that has been sold out. We only had 2 plots left in Bussorah. So if you're interested, and the plots are $1,000 each, and that's in Bussorah, and each plot is 20 by 20. That's 400 square meters each, and the plot is $1,000. Okay, each plot is $1,000, and there are just 2, and that is in Bussorah. Okay, and Bussorah is where the BlaXit eco village is, which was our first major settlement, although of course we have many others. BlaXit is the largest repatriational service here in the Gambia. So I would say definitely established. We would love to, you know, support you in the process. So if you are fed up with racism, discrimination, if you're fed up of paying so many bills, yeah, and you want to join me, you know, living off the grid and enjoying life, because I live via solar, and I've already built my house, so I don't have any mortgage, I don't have any rent. Okay, of course I have, you know, small maintenance, and I have water from my borehole, and I have gas, which I buy a canister and use for my cooker. But it's a much cheaper way of living. It's a much cleaner and wholesome way of living. Living among your people gives you a sense of pride and a sense of dignity and a sense of honor and a sense of comfort and safety that I've never ever felt before. And that's why I do what I do, because I'm not evangelizing. I just want you to realize that we don't need to be where we don't belong. Okay, we just don't. We just don't. All right, we can be home. We can be among our own people, and we can be free. And I think that's important. And setting myself free was the most important thing that I think I've ever done. And I'm going to say what I said before. I'm going to say it again. Okay, wanting to change your proximity to whiteness. Yeah, as in, i.e., change your proximity away from whiteness. Okay, wanting to change your proximity away from whiteness, yeah, is a natural impulse for displaced Africans and black people globally. Okay, and the only way to eradicate racism is to leave it behind and come and live in your own kind. And you will not feel inner peace. Yeah, inner peace only flows from where you feel honored. And I didn't feel honored in the West, but I certainly do here. So with that being said, I want to say thank you. Remember that we are one people, one nation, one destiny. Okay? And yes, I have come off the beaten path a little bit with the content on this live, because I believe that we're running off kilter. And I think that we need to get back in line with some of our own ancient African laws and our own African principles, because things are going crazy, okay? And we need to pull back in, and we need to do, things that are in line with us. And I want you to take our rainbow back, okay? I had a very, very strong dream about that. It does not belong to sexual deviance. It belongs to us, okay? So I love you so much. Always remember to love yourself first. Yeah, and put yourselves first. Okay? Remember, you don't have to answer their questions. Okay? You can say, I'm not comfortable answering that question because you're making me feel uncomfortable. Okay? So remember that if you want to support BlaXit in any way, yeah, you can do. Like I said, I have used Patreon, but I'm not very good with all of that. I never have. So I'm not going to pretend that you're going to get this, you're going to get that, and silver, gold, and all that. I didn't understand it. And, I'm a little bit of a tech phobe. So if you would like to support BlaXit, you can via Patreon using BlaXit, BlaXit. Or if you would like, to send a donation via Western Union, you can get in contact with us. I've forgotten my PayPal stuff, so I will get back to you, okay? And Kalumi, we will discuss that as well, okay? We will discuss that. There's a lot of things that we need to talk about. Hector F. Jacobs, yeah? Thank you so much, Hector. You're sweetie. Yeah? And I love you too, okay? I love you. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here on Sunday. And I don't want to leave without thanking each and every one of you who joined us on today's live. I so appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. And I'm so grateful for you for taking the time out of your valuable day, of your valuable Sunday, to come and join us. If you could give me a few more thumbs up on the way out, I would really appreciate it, because it helps that all-important algorithm with our content, okay? Cara Lumsey said, okay, brilliant, thank you, hon, we will forward your number. Okay, thank you so much, yeah? And Francis, thank you so much. Francis Chekadobi Ibo says, hi, thank you. Francis, good evening from here. Where's here? And Sere Naturals, S-E-R-E Naturals. Yeah, thank you for joining. Thank you for the thumbs up. So without further ado, I'm going to end today's live broadcast. As you know, we're always about our own, our own 365 days a year mind revolution. I'm going to try and come live more frequently. As you know, I am a full-time mum. Also full-time businesswoman, yeah, and of course a homekeeper as well. So these things do sometimes take up my time. So I will be trying to put out more content on the main channel, even if it's not me out and about, you know, as much as possible. I will try and capture some more information for you and show you the Africa that you need to be in. Okay. All right. So I'm going to love you and leave you. I love you all. Thank you so much. Lots of kisses. And like I said, well wishes to McConnell. I wish you better. Happy birthday to you, Mum. And thank you to the whole of the BlaXit team. Ed the man, thank you so much. And everybody else that's been a part of BlaXit from day one, my A1 day ones, thank you so much. I love you. And Francis from Nigeria. Beautiful, wonderful Nigeria. Whereabouts in Nigeria are you from, Francis? Tell us. You know, I do so want to do a lot of work in Nigeria. It's been one of my passions that I have not quite fulfilled as yet, but I dare say in the future it will become a reality, let's say that much. Yeah. So okay, Francis, not seeing you there, so I'm going to say goodbye. And thank you, Francis, from Nigeria. Beautiful, beautiful Nigeria. And of course, I always want to say big up to all of my friends in Lagos. Thank you to all of my friends in Lagos. You know who you are. Thank you very much and good night. And all of my Gambian family, goodbye, not good night. Okay, love you. Oh, I don't know what's happened here.